Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty crazy news going on over here because of Faze Clan, I'm sure you guys may or may not have heard of throughout the years, has been doing kind of bad. Now, as of at least around like 2-3 hours ago, one of the most kind of prominent, well-known members of the Faze Clan himself, Teeqo, actually went in, well, kind of called out the entire organization. And as well, this also kind of stems back onto another random old school member from Faze Rain, who is also calling out the actual company. The stock itself has been in free fall for the past few months. Basically, there's like a lot of drama, a lot of internal drama, a lot of selling out, and everything in between, and people are obviously not happy about it. This also kind of stems off too of a lot of old past contract law, and I even have had friends who have been a part of Faze Clan themselves, and they, well, end up leaving after a while because they realized that they never actually had a good proper contract. So we're going to talk about this, talk about the details, talk about everything in between, and well, it's just not looking so good as of today. So if you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with notifications on. If you guys are bored, we're going to probably be drinking up on Twitch down below tonight, or if you guys just see later on, go make sure you guys pop a follow. And of course, target Amazon links too, and let's dive into the video. So basically around an hour ago or so, we had Teeqo himself. Well, first and foremost, actually, as of March 11, he made a big kind of crazy tweet that got really viral, has around 6 million views right now, saying, "I can't wait to go and talk my and let you know how things really are. Ain't no loyalty in this. Nothing but lies and fake promises over and over again. No one has your best interests at heart. Real friends don't exist in this. Trust me, haha. I've tried really hard to solve and fix these things for a long time, but no one gives up, so I think it's time to let you know and hear some other stuff yourself. You deserve to know the truth, and the truth you shall get. See you soon." Now, ever since that happened on the 11th, a lot of folks are kind of speculating on what's going on, what's happening, and everything in between, especially because another big member such as Faze Rain, if any of you guys even know these folks, you guys might be the OGs. I used to play a lot of Modern Warfare 2. I still have some friends who are actually currently in Faze, and well, it's just kind of a very intriguing thing nonetheless. Now, I'm going to kind of be a little bit impartial on this one too, because company law and company like infrastructure usually is known to just screw over people, and I don't like it. Obviously, I don't think anyone does, and if you're someone who's affected by it, obviously you're not going to be happy, especially if you put the backbone of a clan or a business or whatever behind it. It's kind of like if you work for a startup company, at some certain time you may get fired, you might get laid off, you may not have as big of an equity deal, or as well you might get underpaid over time. It's just how the corporate world works. Not saying any of this stuff that Faze Clan has done is right. I just kind of feel like I understand why they're doing that or all the internal details. But for this one, it's actually got a little bit more nitty-gritty than this. So basically, this is going to probably go viral. I'm sure a lot of folks are going to talk about this, especially with the fact that Faze Rain was also kind of harping on this and calling out the Faze Clan. The big issue with this is, if you guys know, if you're a company, basically, if you're a smaller ground company, let's say you own your own, let's say, coffee shop. Say, hypothetically, it's Starbucks. The issue is that you own 100% of your business at the start. But let's go and say then at some point you have a few of your buds. Be like, "Hey, man, I need some help really bad. I need someone to help be a barista. I need someone to start, like, running coffee. I need someone to go and just help me with the accounting." Be like, "Okay, we could go on a 1/4 then on your business." Then at that point, you have 25% equity, and if the business keeps on growing, in theory, it's kind of like a loss leader. You basically go and lose that 100%, but then in theory, your revenue should grow 10x, and you should still be worth more money. Now, that's kind of what happened here with the Faze Clan, where it started off with a bunch of, like, younger folks. They had equity in the business, and then at a certain point, they're like, whoa. We're becoming famous on YouTube. We're becoming famous in general. We're actually making like a lot of money, a few $1 million, and then let's keep on trying to grow. And then that's kind of when you sometimes start getting like these angel investors. It'll be like, "Hey, we'll give you $50 million. You have something good going on here, but we want 60%. And at that point, you kind of lose like controlling equity, and they kind of have the final say over you because they own more of the business. They put in more money. They own more of the company. And that's kind of what happened over here. So basically, Teeqo himself, who's been around like the Faze Clan stuff, if you guys ever watched the stuff back in the day, I know I did. They have the Faze House, they have all the other folks or whatever. I didn't really grow up on it, but I just was familiar. I'm a content creator myself. I know what's going on over there. And basically, this guy was a pretty popular guy. He had a lot of Twitter followers, was involved in the CSGO community when they had a CSGO team, and as well, they just invested his own money into this company, and no one ever really cared. So basically, long-standing Faze Clan member Jacob Teeqo has lashed out as of like about an hour ago or so about the organization in a heated rant, claiming the new team owners never gave two about him while they allegedly prioritized paying new members. Now, it's kind of also, once again, it's kind of insulting because these are the original folks who kind of built up this big clan, the organization, all the folks or whatever, and I think it's kind of feels bad. Like I said, just kind of corporate the world, but the corporate world's never fun. So a few weeks ago, Faze Rain also went on record to expose the organization of its alleged wrongdoings. Another veteran of the popular group and has now joined the ranks. Teeqo released a scathing video of his own on March 12th, criticizing Faze Clan and its owners for supposedly failing to show him any support. How are you going to be leaders when you can't even take care of the members that have been there for 12 years. Teeqo questioned the strife as intense tirade, namely the content creator that has been a part of Faze for more than a decade took issues with fake promises, while newer members supposedly got paid more than he even ever did. Now, I'm going to also go and say this, I'm sure some folks may not like the idea of like, oh, this guy's making money or complain. Bro, this guy's like a few million followers on YouTube. He did a lot of Twitch streams, involved a lot of communities, had a lot of famous folks over there, was in the collabs, was in the big YouTube channel, and like he was kind of a pretty big famous guy involved in the community. So it's kind of like, let's say you have some random guy that's brand new who's maybe has like 30,000 followers. Like think someone like a me. But I'm somehow getting paid more than someone like him who people actually know or they're making videos on or has like, millions of followers on Twitter. It's probably not right. Like just the ratio doesn't make sense at all. It says someone else can come in as late as this year who is not even from the industry, never lifted a finger for Faze, so hasn't like helped out with building the brand and building the community and building the content, but doesn't even know what Faze even was, just saw like a contract or an email saying, hey, we'll give you some money for some tweets, and then you get 3 times paid the amount of shares that I have, and an annual salary that's more money than I've ever been paid by Faze. And I'm sure you guys can understand that being annoying. Like, let's go and think of random Snoop Dogg. I think I almost want to say unironically Snoop Dogg is actually part of Faze, I think, at some point. That's just him being, hey, I'm Snoop Dogg, and I was getting paid like $5 million of stock, money, and salary, just to sometimes maybe tweet and like wear a gold chain. Like, I'm sure you guys can, I mean, like, sometimes how it is for famous people, they just kind of get hand stuff. That's how it is. Even for content creators, like someone like a Mr. Beast is gonna probably have some random guy buying him dinner, just being like, yo, you're famous, I'll give you free dinner on me, just because he's him. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy to see this, because this basically just means that the contracts were so bad, the money was not there. And like just basically they're trying their best to bribe and kind of grow the business in kind of a scummy way, where it kind of goes and screws over the people who originally tried to go make the business what it really was. Try to go have like the homegrown Call of Duty or their trick shots and everything else that people are maybe familiar with back in the day. Or even someone like, say, like a Faze Rug, who's been around for a long time, and he's been making content, he's been trying his best to grow the best he can, and he has billions upon billions of views, which I can guarantee you guys for advertisers and sponsors and overall brand awareness, that is quite a bit. So in one particular example, highlighting the efforts of his organization, he says he actually puts up $100,000 of his own money to help secure a CSGO roster back in the day. Same with Faze Rain, who apparently put in like around $200,000 or so, and while he did at some point get that money back, it was one of those things where it's like, hey, I'm doing a huge favor for you guys. I'm bankrolling this stuff. I'm giving you guys $100,000 to grow this. And it's kind of like, okay, after 4 years, they'll pay you back. Well, at that point, you could have invested that money and made more money. You could have had your own business. At the same time, too, maybe you should have been like, hey, like I helped you out before. Give me a little bit more equity. Or, hey, let me have a trade-off for this one. Let me be in part of the business more. Let me have more say. And while that's just kind of gross, it's like, look, your friend being like, hey, I'll give you $50,000 to start your business. The business turns to a $50 million business, and they'll also try to go pay you back just the exact amount you gave them. Like, no interest, no anything special, no presents, no anything like that. It's understandable. It's normal corporate life. Like, I don't want to complain about that. But in terms of, like, friendships or doing someone a deal and everything else, it is kind of messed up. He also even says he was never like really an owner for this company. He knew his place. He knew he wasn't as big. Like he was humble about it. That's why it kind of probably stinks for him, because he just didn't really raise up a storm. Now, there's also sometimes too where people complain about contracts over time because, well, you always have to like sometimes job hop. That's why job hopping is always a big thing, because people always realize that, hey, like, bro, you got to realize sometimes you have to go and like just go somewhere else. They're not going to treat you as well as they can. You got to go somewhere else. So he said throughout his time with Faze, he also allegedly has only ever signed one contract ever, which is also kind of on him. He probably should have, negotiated as he got bigger, or was more involved, or was doing more work in general. And he also said his apparently just has a really, really rough contract where they take a lot of money from ads, a lot of money probably his YouTube videos and everything else too as well. And this also kind of comes off him potentially being outside of Faze 2 for a while and probably not having a proper contract with it. And he's literally saying that other folks out there are literally just making way more money than him. It's also going to stop too as well, because we've been seeing so much news of the Faze Clan stock that's been laying off 20% of its staff, as well as also on top of this too as well, he didn't know about the long-term economy. The Faze stock is at like 50 cents right now, and everyone's just been selling, so it's risking actually being delisted as well, because if it's under the $1 mark, it actually may turn to a proper like a kind of potato stock. And it would also mean that anyone who was even given stock in the first place may even have issues even selling the stock and getting rid of the equity in the Faze Clan company itself, because all these big boys just keep on, like, once again, you give out $5 million worth of stock to Snoop Dogg, he's probably going to end up selling most of it to get some money in cash, because he can, because on like before it actually gets delisted and the price drops off even more. So overall, this Faze Clan stuff's been getting kind of dirty because people are calling them out for never paying them well, not being good people, and overall the big CEOs just kind of being rough, and the company also failing, losing all these folks, losing all this money, and as well losing all their employees. So at this point in time, it's not looking too good. Looks like Faze Clan, although it's still going to be probably around for a while, has been kind of starting its really big decline, and I'm not happy to see all this stuff because at the end of the day, it should just be about gaming, having fun, rather than just trying to make as much money as you possibly can. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch link down below in case you guys want to follow. We have the Target links, we have the Amazon links, and everything else in between. I appreciate y'all so much for watching here in the first place.